of the underground! Make madness your ritual!
What's happening, folks? It's Friday. You know what it is. Do me a favor. Check out Lowbrow Saints Tattoo Collective, 355 3456 Minnehaha Avenue, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Contact availability via Instagram.com/lowbrow saints. If you're looking to get some guitars, we got some fancy guitars right down the block from us here at the Shred Den, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., 9100 85th Avenue North, Suite 100, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, 763-350-2191. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Or www.theshredden.net. Come check them guys out. They got all kinds of stuff. And they work on guitars as well. They do, Jordan from Courier actually does a lot of the electronical work there too. I know Matt McGee also does a bunch of stuff there too. And they got lessons and all kinds of fancy stuff. If you're looking to get some design work done, Narwhal Design Solutions is who you should be talking to. Justin Boney, Narwhal Design Solutions, justinboney@gmail.com. You know what's up. This week, we got, what's your name, Justin Crandall?
Justin Crandall is correct.
How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, man.
It's been a freaking minute, dude.
Dude, it's been far too long.
So I looked back, because I could have swore that you guys have been on the show more than one time.
Yeah, I know the guys were on together.
Episode 250.
It was episode 250.
Yep, 250.
Yep. And I wasn't present.
Yeah. You had something going on. I know it was like you were busy that weekend, or you were like work something going on. I remember that because I was all excited, and you're like, dude, I can't make it. I got the other guys will show up, and it was such a tiny room compared to this one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What an incredible space, man.
Thank you, dude. Thank you. I owe all of that to, here we go, the Shred Den, Mr. Rob Carlson. He really hooked me up on this deal and has taken care of me a lot. You know what I mean? As far as this, and I owe it all to Rob and his family, man. They're really good people, and it's cool to be taken care of in a spot like this. Is really, really cool. Everybody, again, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it very much. We've been going strong. We're at episode 344. That's pretty amazing for me to make it this long. We were just talking about.
That's great.
Thank you, man. We were just talking about it.
So cool.
13 years of this nonsense, dude. I really can't.
It's like you snap your fingers and it's done, huh?
Yes and no. You know what I mean? I have some amazing conversations with people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 344 of them.
Yeah. Well, and that's what's crazy is like even the early years, we're like splitting them up into different things too. You know what I mean? So it was like I think we had a little over 10 hours worth with Chad from American Head Charge, which is they're no longer available. They're gone. Right. I lost them in transit. Between really sucks too because there's actually a Reddit thread of people looking for after the soft weight underbelly stuff. You know. So it was a bummer, but it is
crazy.
It is what it is, man. We were talking about this right before we got done with this song, Element of One. This is a single that you guys did with Jesse Leach, right?
Yep.
From Kill Switch Engage.
Correct.
Dude, how the heck did that happen? Like we were kind of talking about it. You're like, oh, we'll save it. We'll get to it. So how did that even come to be? How did you guys manifest something like that? That is a pretty huge thing.
Yeah, a whole lot of just being available, right? Started out, I saw a post on Instagram. Jesse was looking for people wanting to collaborate and stuff, and I have this thing that I do with my drummer where I come up with crazy ideas in my mind, and he's like the action guy. Yeah. So it came up, and I if you were to ask Brady, he'd probably laugh if he was sitting here, but anytime I get something, I just copy a link and send it to him. Send it out to him. He probably has a text thread. It's just me telling him to do stuff. But he is just awesome at it. So he reached out to Jesse. We were like, oh my gosh, he's interested. We had sent him, we did a cover of The Distance by Cake. We sent him a couple of that track and then another one. And he was like, you guys are great. I want to work with you. And we're like, okay. So Element of One is off of our new album that's going to be coming out, and we had it sitting around. Yeah. And it was almost done. We just had to do some final touches with vocals and stuff like that. And we all decided, like, I think this is the song. Yeah. We finished it, got it mixed and mastered and kicked it over to him.
Now I want to back up because I loved before we went on. You were talking about how it was kind of a reverse engineer type of thing. How you were, little pieces were popping up and
the writing of the song.
Yeah.
I think something that was really cool, that's been really quite wonderful about this album that we've been writing, is it's been incredibly organic. It's all been written in the room for the most part.
Right.
Or just riffs that I come with, and then we expound upon those things. But it started out with a kick drum. Brady had a beat. It was that ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, that's really great. Let's do something with it. And keep going. So that riff itself was kind of like what I like to say the original offset
the base
of what that song. Yeah, it was the base of the song. And then we just kind of wrote around it, reverse engineered the thing.
Right.
What came after was the actual intro of the riff or the song.
So run me through that. How is it that you go backwards? Like I got this really wait, I need something to go before this.
Yeah, one thing that I really love about this project and working with these guys, we've been together now for about 4.5, 5 years.
Yeah.
And we can get in a room and just hash it out. And we have kind of like this unspoken rule, I think.
Sure.
Where we just don't tell people anything sucks. It's just try anything.
Yeah.
Try it.
Yeah.
And then we'll figure it out as it goes. And that's really how this song happened. It was that riff, and then I was like, oh wait, hang on a second. And then I kind of fiddled around a lot.
Yeah.
Bounced on that. And they were like, oh, that's really cool. I don't know if it's gonna work. But then we tried it. So
as far as the transition together.
Yeah, it's just these building blocks of us just sitting in a room, hashing it out. Sometimes some riffs are already put together. Sometimes it's a riff. Sometimes it's in this instance, a drum beat. Sometimes it's a bass line. It just depends.
What a killer way, man. You know
it's
what
incredible.
I mean?
Yeah.
When you tap into that too, we were kind of talking about that, man. Just to be able to tap into that, it's a feeling that people who don't really know much about music or have experienced it. You know what I mean? I had a friend who was like a blues jazz guy, and he was impromptu like nobody's business, and that to me was like the ultimate of flows. That jazz trumpet to me, you know what I mean? Where they're just in and out of everything. They're just catching little pieces of time here and there, and in there.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah,
I love it.
It's beautiful, man. Now I know that I did this with the guys. On 250, and this is always my favorite thing to do, is to kind of go back to the past. Like, what was mom and dad listening to? What was going on in the house as a kid? What was the first essence of music that you were just tapping into as a kid?
Yeah, let's dive into the deep end, right?
Yeah.
We'll try not to unpack all the trauma with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. My journey to playing music and becoming a guitar player is a pretty cool story, I think, because it's a story of adversity.
Yeah.
I like to say adversity will be the greatest teacher you ever find in your life.
Yeah.
That's when you learn your mouth is when you're pressed against the wall. So I'll just start as a kid. Grew up North Minneapolis, kind of an interesting situation, a tough situation.
Yeah.
But my dad was a truck driver, still is, and we'd do trips from Minnesota to California and back.
Just you two?
Yeah, just us two. And I grew up listening to, out of all the things me and my father did not agree on, the one thing we did agree on was music. And he introduced me to a lot of great music.
In those long rides, that had to have been some.
Well, and you got to think about it this way, right?
Yeah.
You didn't have CD players. You didn't have. It was cassette tapes. So
right.
He actually had 2 or 3 of them, and I think it was 24. I don't know how many. It was like 3 or 4 rows.
Right.
And just cassette tapes, and you couldn't skip a song for the life of you.
Yep.
And you're stuck in a truck.
Yep.
And you're driving till you can't anymore.
Yeah.
Growing up on ZZ Top, the Moody Blues, Aretha Franklin, Muddy Waters, lots of blues music, lots of stuff.
All I'm seeing in my head is the truck stop bargain bins.
Oh,
where you roll up and you're like, damn, that's freaking Metallica.
Well, hang on a second, because I won't tell you how many times I've seen a Garth Brooks cassette tape come out of that thing, and I'm pretty sure he purchased one on one of those discounts. So, man, I mean, actually metal was not part of it.
Yeah.
Well, not part of my life at all at that time.
Right.
It was.
So
It was.
with the trucking community, though, because I had a friend whose dad worked for Allied Van Lines way back in the day, and he did the same thing. He traveled with his dad a lot of times just to keep him awake most of the time. You know what I'm saying? Like being a pain in the ass to his dad and keeping him awake. But a lot of that revolved around country music, country western. There was a lot of that. For did you get exposed to a lot of that?
Hank Williams Jr., Hank Williams Sr.,
right?
You know, all of those, you know, Johnny Cash's of the world, all that stuff.
Yeah,
outlaw. It was outlaw. Yeah. It was outlaw country music, and I think, you know, it as I look back on it, man, it shaped me. It really influenced me to love music.
Right. The stories, right?
It was the storytelling. It was the feeling and emotion that was in music back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, because it wasn't so polished. It wasn't zeros and ones to a grid and all this stuff and all this technology. It was like, man, we got to put this to tape. We don't have a ton of money.
Right.
And we're going to try to make it sound the best.
Minimal tracks too, right?
And minimal tracks.
So they bounce down, and you think back to some of them old rock albums where you can the bleed of things, where you hear a squeak of there's I can't even think of it. I want to say it's like either a war or like it's Robin Trower. There's a Robin Trower album where they're playing, and you can hear the squeak of the pedal.
Oh yeah. Isn't that cool?
It's just a trip.
It's like the zipper snap in Sweet Emotion by Aerosmith.
Yeah,
you know, it breaks, you know, or the shaker in Sweet Emotion. That was a salt packet.
Really?
You know? Yeah, totally. It was a salt packet.
That's crazy.
Because their maraca or whatever the hell the thing is that they meant to have broke.
Yeah.
And they had nothing else.
Right.
So, you know, Steven Tyler's like, we need a shaker. Okay, here's a salt packet.
Yeah.
And that's how they captured it. You know, so music during that time, I think in my youth, I wasn't musical at all, but I love music.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, I grew up.
Were there certain things that like Dad would be rocking out to that you'd look over and you'd feel the vibe off of them?
I mean, dude, anytime. I remember my favorite song that came from my relationship with him was "Blue on Black."
Okay.
By Kenny Wayne Shepherd.
Yeah. What a great song.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, that's a great song.
I mean, you want to talk about just an incredible song writing, but incredible. That was like my first time. Like, I really love guitar.
Wow.
Like, I didn't want to play guitar.
Yeah.
But I really loved it. I loved the way it sounded. I love the way it sounded against a kick drum, a full band, and a really good singer.
Right.
Right. And yeah, that was it. Blue on Black, Kenny Wayne Shepherd.
So walk me through as you're you're liking the music. Obviously, you're feeling it.
Yep.
When does rock and roll actually take a hold of you? Was there a moment of like, was there a something on MTV? Was there something on? I mean, for me, it was, and I just answered this question a few months back. Yeah. American Bandstand, seeing Prince on American Bandstand, and a lot of people go, "What, Prince?" And I go, "Yeah, because he was such a little dude, and he looked like a chick with this like flowy hair, man. But he could just throw down, and the music was right in that pocket for me.
He was free, wasn't he?
Yeah."
Well, I think for me, because I didn't start playing guitar till I was actually 19.
Yeah.
Real fact.
Yeah.
So my love for music went through, but where music really came into was my relationship with sports.
Yeah.
I played hockey for 13 years. I was a big jock. My music was not actually, I tried to learn how to play the saxophone when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And dude,
that was like the first thing that you
dude, I would try to practice like in the living room.
Yeah.
And my dad wouldn't have it. He was like,
take that shit to the closet.
He was not happy about it.
Yeah.
He's like, you need to play a sport. So I went on to play hockey. Yeah. So rock and roll hit me when it actually happened through hockey. You know, sitting in the locker room, and I don't know if anyone, you know, in the community here or even you, Greg, but sitting in a hockey locker room or a sports locker room with a bunch of kids that are all antsy. I was the kid that had the headphones on and was listening to The Shape and the Color by Foo Fighters.
Okay. Yeah.
And I heard, Silverchair
Yeah.
and Nirvana, and I
Right.
was like, what is this? What a cool sound.
Yeah.
But then I made the connection to my athletic ability and what music did for me.
Oh,
so
okay.
I would sit in the locker room, everybody else would be making a bunch of noise. I'd have my headphones on, and I was listening to Colored Shape by Foo Fighters, getting
Right.
myself jacked up so I could go play 3 periods of hockey.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that went on. It was, moving from North Minneapolis into my freshman year. I went St. Francis, Minnesota, small country town.
Right. Right.
So, dude, my parents done plucked me out of the hood.
Right.
And said, "Sweet, we're gonna put you in the country."
Yeah. The smart thing to do, get you out of the damn city.
But what a strange situation.
Oh yeah, for sure. The dynamic is so much different.
Bro, I was a fish out of water.
Yeah.
Because I was at that point in time, I was wearing my Jinko pants.
Right.
I had my hemp necklace on.
Yeah, yeah.
Shirt that said, big hands, big feet, in
Right,
question.
right,
that you
right.
bought it down in the valley.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I grew up,
Yeah.
And so I show up my freshman year. I'm a fish out of water, but I was a really good hockey player.
Yeah.
And then I met some friends, Jesse and Nick and all these people.
Yeah.
And they introduced me to Korn
Okay.
and Tool and Limp Bizkit. And I was like, what is this?
Right. New metal was the ticket.
It was so weird. My mom actually dated when I was a kid. She dated a guy that was playing in a metal cover band. They played like Megadeth and Metallica.
Right.
Dude, it just zoomed right over my head. It just didn't connect with me
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
whatever
you weren't
reason
ready
it
yet.
was.
Yeah,
I
you
wasn't
weren't
ready
ready.
yet.
Yeah.
But new metal hit me, and I remember I got my favorite album from that time in my life. Probably I was like 15, 16, 17 years
Yeah.
old. Was Deftones, Around the Fur.
There you go. That's a
It was-
good one, man.
Adrenaline was great. It was really cool intro to Deftones. I love it. I actually love every version of Deftones.
Sure.
I'm a large fan. But holy smokes, that Around the Fur album
Yeah.
was just it for me.
Who levels up on their sophomore album?
I know.
Seriously,
I'm saying.
that's kind of a thing. They've kind of just jumped.
I'm saying,
They're
dude.
such a great band. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but once again, it carried through in the locker room, right? So then now I got, Follow the Leader, and I got Korn, and I got Limp Bizkit. I got all this access of heavy music starting to happen for me
Right.
at that time.
Sure.
New metal was my heavy.
Yeah.
New metal was my heavy.
Right.
I get the thrash guys would be like, "That's not heavy."
Whatever, dude. You're not heavy at all, dude.
I just want to say that was my heavy.
Yeah.
Okay.
How can you call yourself metal, dude? Yeah, I love that. That's silly.
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah.
be the heavy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went on to play hockey through high school.
Yeah.
And then my junior year of high school, I broke my back playing hockey
Ooh.
and couldn't walk for 6 months.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And that was it. The doctor said, like, this thing that I had been doing for 13 years is now no longer an option for you.
Yeah. So let me interrupt a little bit. Now, as you're finding these bands through your friends and stuff,
Yeah.
now are you doing what typical musician types do? When they find something really good, they got to share it with everybody else. Were you trying to turn everybody else on to thing? Like in the locker room,
that's a good
were you able to, like, were there guys that are around you that were like, dude, what are you listening to? How are you getting so psyched up? How are you getting fired up for this? And you were like, here, man, check this out. Did you do any of that?
It's actually, now that I don't think I've ever been asked this question, and I don't think I've ever answered it for myself internally or anybody else.
Okay.
So great
Okay.
question. Holy shit. I actually, now that I reflect on it, I didn't want anybody to know my secret, man.
Really?
But me.
You
and
just
the
wanted to
feeling
hold
that
it.
I had,
Yeah.
and then my friends that I shared that
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
It felt really special to me.
Sure.
I don't know. It was this friend, Joe Comus, rest in peace. He was a really good friend of mine. He introduced me to Korn.
Yeah.
Blind. That whole first Korn album.
Right.
And then we moved on to Life is Peachy. And it's crazy when you start to think about relationships and how people impact you, right?
Right.
To this day, I remember the Buick Skylark that he would pick me up at my house.
Yeah.
We would ride together with school.
Yeah.
And Mr. Joe Comus would have a cloud of pot as I entered.
Yeah.
the car. And at that point in time, you know, I just didn't know much about that. I didn't engage. I was an athlete.
Yeah.
But I still loved Joe.
Yeah.
He was a great friend of mine. And I held those relationships in that music was so close to me because I didn't have a ton of friends.
Yeah.
Because I was new to the town.
Yeah.
I was just a quiet dude in the locker room that came to work every single time.
Yeah.
And the way I did that is I got jacked up on my own, and I didn't want anybody else to know how I got there.
Wow. Well, that's even cooler, man. That's
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Well, I mean that's a
First time I've
relationship
ever
of
answered
that.
that.
You know, your relationship with music was really
It was so
about you,
personal.
man. That's good.
It was so personal.
Very cool.
It was.
So how did you break your back? How did that come to be? That seems absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. Well, it was a really interesting situation. We had played a hockey team, just to not make it about anything else other than the situation. Played a hockey team. I took a guy in a corner. I broke his leg.
Oof.
I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
You know, I was just, once again, you know, I was a defenseman and I was into my game.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to do. And they kept my number. And the next time we played them,
Vendetta type shit. Huh?
yeah, it was wild. They skated cross ice. When they came to hit me, there was no board, like glass behind me. It was the players' boards. And I was facing guys skated full speed and hit me and then bent me backwards.
Oh.
Yeah. When I was just, you know, at that time, that's all I did was work out, play hockey, go to school.
So is that
work.
mid lower
It
back?
was right in my L1, yeah.
Damn.
So
now did you jackknife over the boards itself?
No,
You just got
I sprung
folded.
back up and fell. Yeah, I sprung back up and fell. It's crazy when you think about it too, because I coach my son's hockey team. This past year when I coached, the first time I ever stepped in that hockey rink from my accident was that time, 20 some odd years later.
How was that feeling?
Surreal. You know, I think
Nerves?
no, I've done a lot of work with my trauma from just that situation in itself. And it was really peaceful, actually. I gave a lot of forgiveness to it. I gave a lot of space, and actually I gave a lot of gratitude to it because I wouldn't be sitting here. I don't think that to be true.
Well, you'd have been chasing a different dream, right?
I'd have been chasing a different dream.
Right.
And if it wasn't for that accident, I wouldn't have found this thing that has filled my soul, and filled a piece of me that was missing for a long time,
right,
unless that would have happened.
Right.
So it was kind of an incredible experience, and just like, you know, I remember leading up to that moment because I knew I was going to have to go to that hockey rink.
So you get folded, right?
Yeah.
And you fall to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Feelings gone. Legs couldn't move. What was the sensation when you hit the ground? Where you're like, fuck.
Don't remember.
Really? They put you out?
I woke up on a stretcher, man.
Damn.
And they were.
So it was a flash knockout too, huh?
Yeah, it was just. Whether it was a knockout, whether it was me blacking out, shock, whatever it is. I mean, I was 17, right?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I just remember waking up on a stretcher, and then this is where the story's
completely isolated, right?
Yeah.
You're just.
Yeah, this is where you kind of add the fun to the story, though, because I'm a bit of an optimist. But I remember when I came to, and I kind of looked, and they're pulling me out in front on a stretcher. Imagine this. In front of the whole varsity team.
Uh-huh.
And at that point in time, I have a really good relationship with them as well. I remember after I got out of the hospital, got home, got settled in, the day was done and passed, a week had passed. A couple of them had reached out and said, "We got those fuckers for you."
Nice. There you go.
It was pretty funny.
That's awesome.
They were like, "Yeah, Justin, that game didn't go so hot because we mostly all just spent time in the penalty box,
Just smashing people.
just smashing people."
That happens, man.
Yeah.
I know when I did the same thing. Our stories are very similar, dude.
Yeah.
I came from the city into the suburbs.
Wow.
A fish out of water. You know, I was more of a scrappy kind of kid. You know what I mean? And again, we were talking about one of my past interviews. I bonded with strange people. I bonded with people that were different than me.
Yep.
That's how I found metal. That's how I started hanging out with, and I was a football player. I was a wrestler. I did all the things that needed to be done, and I loved playing sports. Absolutely loved it.
Yep.
Broke my ankle. Again, same type of thing, man. I found metal and it was completely different. It was, now let me ask you this, man. So it sounded like you were really, really into the hockey.
Yeah.
And when and the doctor says, this is no longer an option anymore unless you want to be in a chair, obviously. Where does your mind go after that? Obviously you said you like the music, where do you find, where does it touch, where does it grab you and say, let's go?
Well, at this point in time, I was surrounded by some incredible friends that loved me. And man, I got to try not to choke up over it, but because I couldn't walk for 6 months.
Yeah.
When they would come over, they would sit and play Nintendo 64 with me.
Yeah.
And we'd watch, at that point in time, Half Baked had come out.
Sure.
And, Dazed and Confused was a big, and you're watching this shit on VHS, dude.
Yeah,
That's how old I am, right?
Yeah.
And one of my really great friends at that time, his name was Vince. And I still, to this day, credit him for where I sit.
Yeah.
He was the goalie on the team.
Yeah.
And him and I grew really close together. But he was super artistic. This dude, you ever met these people that's just anything they do, they're
disgusting?
good at?
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's absolutely.
That was Vince.
Blessed, so blessed.
He could paint. He was a hell of a goalie. Hell of a friend.
Probably a sweetheart. Probably articulate as shit.
Oh yeah.
Probably beautiful. Probably a handsome son of a bitch.
He was in choir. He could sing.
Yeah.
And he could play guitar.
Yeah.
And here I am, just dumb jock guy, right? But he would come over too, and he brought his acoustic guitar with him. And I remember the first song he showed me how to play was "Every Rose Has Its Thorn," because he was learning it at that time too. And then it turned into "Teen Spirit" by Nirvana. And at that point in time, after I got into it and I got a little bit healthier, I could kind of sit up. And I was like, dude, can you teach me how to play? I want to play. Dude, in that bed, in that 6 months, I told him, and him and I sat down. I said, when I get out of here, we're going to start a band. And that became Liquid Blue.
Awesome, dude.
It was incredible.
Was that your first band?
That was my first band, and that's when I was introduced to your bands.
Okay.
And I was going to see Smiling Liar, and I was going to see American Head Charge, and I was Stasia. God, you just see these bands, and it was just
to me, dude. And I was in the middle of all that.
You were.
Those cats to me, all of those bands that you named, they were bigger than life, even standing next to them.
Yes, absolutely.
And you're fucking, you appreciate the things that you've come from and where you've been.
Yep.
That is such a trip, dude. That is, to me, that's a trip. Because I was the same way, dude. Even being in the middle of it, I was just like, wow, I'm so lucky to be around all these talented people.
Yeah. So it was, and I left a little piece out, but I think growing up to, MTV became a thing.
Yeah.
Dude, and I saw, from a guitar perspective, we can get into like my inspirations if you want to at some point in time.
Absolutely.
But, dude, when Limp Bizkit came out and they played the Spring Break in West Borland was just it was when $3 Bill came out. Y'all came out, and I was just like, who is this insane human? I want to do what he does.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't care about anything or anybody and what anybody thinks.
That's what I love about that, dude.
He was just doing what he did.
Free.
He was so free.
I think we talked about that. Free. He's free as all can be, man. That guy.
No, and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
So I remember telling Vince, I was like, dude, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
And that was it. When I graduated from high school, everyone else was going off to college and filling the dorms rooms and taking their graduation money and
so let me back up one second. So now you're learning how to play from your pal, right? You're figuring things out, and you're slowly getting back to health, and you're feeling better. Yep. And let me ask you this: were there any local bands that like, is there one specific local band or multiple local bands that you can say, like, you looked at it and you went, I really, really want to do that at this, you know what I mean? Like, it's the entry level, like, it's right there. I mean, obviously, you started the band, you know?
I mean, oh, man. I was just getting plugged in, you know? It was going to shows.
Yeah.
It was
there
going
were
to
so many
shows.
great shows.
It was
So
going
many
in
great
so
shows.
many great clubs.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
God, it was incredible. What an incredible. You could see Linkin Park, you know, at the Quest.
I did. I seen him at Station 4.
Yeah.
Opened for him at Station 4.
What the hell, right? I mean, what a wonderful time to be alive.
Yeah, those guys were some of the nicest dudes ever. Chimera, dude, that was a band that I played with multiple times. Like, we had to pay Chimera out at the end of the night, one show that we did. I don't even know how we even got hooked up with those guys. It might have been Devil Inside or somebody like that was like, yeah, we're friends with Chimera, and everybody loved Chimera back then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
what a crazy time.
I think that's, you know, because after high school, I was like, well, what the hell do I do now? Like, I was planning on going to college, a 4-year, and playing hockey and all this stuff.
So academically, how did you fare when you know, because I know when I broke my leg in that situation, it was my junior year.
Yeah.
I couldn't play senior ball. But I went dark. My mind went so dark, dude.
Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for learning how to play guitar, if it wasn't for, I mean, my incredible sister, I mean, and my mom during that, I mean, I just, dude.
Right.
I can't.
Great support system.
I just can't.
Yeah.
You know, my dude, my bro, Milk Dog, is we called him Milky.
Yeah.
His name was Mike Harris. Such a wonderful human being. I mean, it's just, you look back on those times when people got you through stuff, right? And I could have chose left and popped all kinds of pills and said, screw it, my life's over. My academics suffered a little bit because I was out of school for 6 months.
Yeah.
Like, I had to figure out how to homeschool too.
Right.
But it wasn't bad.
Okay.
You know, I was just like, you know, okay, I guess, you know, at that point in time, I was selling shoes at Kohl's department stores,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah.
It's like, so I graduate and then I go full time at Kohl's, and I worked at Kohl's for 8 years, right?
Wow.
Like, crazy to think.
Right out of high school?
Right out of high school.
That's crazy.
That's what I did. I
8 years at a job.
Went to full-time overnights, and then I went to McNally Smith. So that's where I was like, okay, like, how can I do this, right? Because I knew I loved music. I took some guitar lessons. I
don't want to get too far ahead. I want to so run me through a couple bands. Were you in? Was it just Liquid Blue before you went to McNally, or were there multiple incarnations, different bands?
No, it was just Liquid Blue was 6 years long.
Oh, nice, very nice.
I was like, that was my baby, man.
Okay.
I mean, it was my best friend. My
Right.
girlfriend was a drummer in the band.
Right.
I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah.
And I was going to McNally Smith at that time, so I'm working full-time overnights at Kohl's. I'm going to school full-time during the day, and then I'm doing the band thing.
Damn, dude, staying busy.
Yeah. Well, it was a pretty natural progression out of, like, okay, that part of my life, I just have to, like, I don't believe in saying goodbye. I think it's just coming to terms and being at peace.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of beautiful things that happened.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to forget those beautiful things.
It sounds like you kept your work ethic. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
from hockey. You know what I mean? You're working hard. You're staying focused on things. You get hurt. You find music. You slowly work it in, and you continue to take that work ethic into. Dude, anybody who goes straight out of high school into an 8-year job, that's pretty ballsy.
Yeah.
That's a commitment that most people won't do with college. You know what I'm saying?
That was it.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And, you know, lots of trials, tribulations, and failures, and, like, messing up, and, like, not actually going, like, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing.
Right.
But never giving up on the love for music. I think the healing that happened while I couldn't walk,
right,
music played such an incredible role into that piece of who I am as a person.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'd do without it. So I just knew at some point in time, forever music is going to be in my life.
Yeah.
In one way, shape, or form, whether I'm producing it, working with other musicians, whether I'm doing it myself, I don't care. Like that feeling that I got, that healing power that happened, I don't ever want to lose that. So here I sit now, you know.
So let me ask you this, and this one's kind of a tricky one because, I mean, let me ask you this. So when you listen to music as a kid, like back up as a kid into, all right, perfect example. You're finding music. You're really focusing more on it when you're laid up. You're starting to appreciate it a bit more.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, when you were listening to music as a kid, what did you hear first? What was the first thing that jumped out at you? What do you remember? Like,
Oh man, I don't remember a guitar. I don't remember a bass or drum or kick or bass or vocals. I remember how it made me feel.
oh, okay,
That's what I remember.
like just the quickening, just kind of like,
Just like
invigorated, like
yeah, man. It was like
our dopamine jump.
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't. It wasn't. You know, a lot of people are like, I heard Jimi Hendrix, so I
Right.
wanted to play guitar.
right,
Dude, I just love the sound and the feeling of it, the
Yeah.
way it made me feel.
right. Again with the vibration,
Yeah, yeah.
the way. Now I talked to Mike Sanchez from Acid Bath. He was sitting in the chair that you're sitting in.
Awesome.
And there was something that he said to me that rings true. He said that ever since he was a kid, he was always drawn to like sad music. Like
Yeah.
how about you? Like when you were finding your ears. Now, obviously, when you go to a music school and you're learning about theory and you're learning about certain things, or even learning guitar. Now, as you're playing guitar and you're learning these chords, do you start to hear the guitar more? Does it start to like zoom towards you more? Are the vocals and the even the vibrations themselves? Are they starting to pull away to where now you're starting to analyze it a little bit more because you're trying to figure it out?
You know, the one thing about going to school for music is like I like to say that you're almost deprogramming yourself.
Yeah.
Because while I was working at Kohl's and I know it's so funny to say that, but dude, when I was going to school, I remember it as I was learning theory and understanding, you know, where the snare coming in 2 and 4 and
Right.
the different time signatures.
Yeah.
Dude, it drove me insane.
To try to figure them out, or
No, because I couldn't go without listening to a song without trying to understand what key it's in.
Oh, gotcha.
What
Gotcha.
time signature is.
See, that's what I'm asking.
Such to a point that when I would walk, I would always make sure my right foot landed on the 2 and the 4 if it was a 4/4 beat, and I would know how much
while you're
BPMs.
listening to it as you're.
Dude, it was insane. So it went from, for me anyways, my experience with music was like this very visceral feeling, you know, like I would cry listening to a song and not know why.
I still do.
Yeah, same, dude. Or just all of a sudden, like you're listening to a song, you're like, this is the happiest day I've ever.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you replay it again and again
Yeah.
and again.
Oh yeah, dude. You know what song it's been for me this week?
What's that?
One song, dude. "Everyday Sunshine" by Fishbone, dude. I woke up and in my head, all I said, "And I wish," and then the dude comes in, "Everyday Sunshine," and I was like,
Dude.
Siri, play, you know, and
Stupid.
all week this week.
It's so great. And what a beautiful thing. So it went from that to like this very like cerebral,
Maddening puzzle,
puzzle.
like a Rubik's
every
cube.
song.
You get one color and you're
Right.
like,
Yeah.
I got 4 more to go.
For sure. I mean, when you're going for production, you're learning keys, you're learning vocals, you're learning bass, you're learning drums, you're learning guitar, you know, the fundamentals.
And the placement of everything.
The placement of everything, every note, every scale, all
how they
this
jive
crap.
together, how they come together. I mean,
And they're
dude,
just,
Yeah.
you know. And when I got out, it was so strange because when I would go to write my own music, it was like I didn't even care about any of that stuff. What I would do is I would play notes, and I'd be like, I really like the way this
That
and this
feels-
sounds
yeah,
together.
okay.
I like the way and at this speed.
Okay.
That's how I write today. I don't even think about the notes on the fretboard anymore. I kind of know that like if I do these things together,
Yeah.
it will sound cool.
Mm-hmm.
I've done it enough times.
Yeah.
And then you can just create variants of that
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Or I'm exploring different forms and different ways
Or
to
the
play it.
vibration takes you like
Yeah.
you know,
It's so
with the
strange.
element one, you said
Yeah.
like, you know, Brady had the kick,
Yeah.
you know, play that more, keep going
Now,
with that.
There are times, however, and the band will attest to this, where I'm like, dudes, we got to do a 6/8 chorus in this one.
Yeah. So you have a yeah.
However, that's it. That's all I'll say. I won't say 6/8 at 150 BPM with the snare on the 4, the kick on the floor at 1.
Right.
And I won't do that.
Yeah.
But I'll say, I really think this song could benefit from a 6/8 chorus. And then we go and write it.
You try to get there.
Yeah.
You got to get there.
So it's, for me, the way that I look at writing music and creating art is a lot like a paint and a paintbrush, right?
Yeah.
Some brushes you have many bristles. Some of them you don't.
Slanted,
Yeah,
pointed.
totally.
Yeah.
So I use these elements that I've learned in my journey as ways to help paint the picture that I'm trying to do through audio.
Right.
And through frequency and through vibration.
Right.
It's become less cerebral, especially as I've gotten older in my time, because I feel like I want to feel more things than I want to think about it.
I like that that you said it. The knowledge of it becomes chaos.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel. Like the more I learned about what I was doing, the harder it made me to. It felt like it was harder to just create.
Yeah.
To where if you like you said, you pull the curtains away and there's a pile of things all of the things that are in this pile.
Yeah.
Maybe they're scattered. Maybe they're like 6/8 is right here. That's where I know that is the building block in some part of this song.
Yeah.
This is the building block.
Right.
And then getting there, like again with element 1, starting with one thing and going backwards. That is such a beautiful thing.
It's incredible.
It's so hard to explain that to people that have never felt that before.
Never felt it.
I use this a bunch because I really love my wife. Her mom listened to music when she cleaned. Much like
Awesome.
our families did when we were young, you know what I mean? The windows were open, they put on 92 or whatever station they're listening to, and the cleaning would happen. You'd smell pine sol and all that shit, But it's like you fall into these past programs in your head. You know what I'm saying? Like you this is where I'm trying to go with this. Is that my wife she didn't grow up listening to music all the time. Mm-hmm. So she loves music, appreciates music, but she's not like me to where I wake up and I hear Everyday Sunshine in my head and I have to play it. And then it sets the tone for the rest of the day. Yeah. Like Bad Brains is a band that I really, really love. And it could be the early punk stuff or like the stuff that you came into when you joined me here, Yeah. It's like more reggae, more heavy, what I mean? It just sets the tone for you, man, Mm-hmm. And I guess where do you feel like has it changed for you, man? Like guitar playing, it's obviously metamorphosized into something completely different from the time even getting out of school. Like, how has it changed from the time you get out of school and creating your own things? And which bands came after school? Yeah,
so Liquid Blue happened during my time at McNally Smith and all those things. After 6 years, that kind of closed the door, and it's kind of silly how I've learned something about my personality. I close the door on things, and then I tell myself, "You're not doing that anymore, dude."
Mm-hmm.
And then the first thing I do is I go to my guitar and pick it up. And then, manifested somehow through the universe, somebody called, and at that point in time, it was Death Row Martyr.
Well, so tell me how Liquid Blue. How did Liquid Blue come to slowly die down after? I mean, did you go straight through McNally with Liquid Blue? Were you recording with Liquid Blue? You were doing your projects in McNally with that?
Yeah. We were doing all that. We had a producer that we actually worked with outside of McNally. Really good guy. Joe Church is his name. Thank you, Joe, for sending me some of those recordings from those times.
That's awesome.
It's so special.
Yeah.
Man, those songs, I look back on them and I'm like, oof, I was proud of that. Great. Some of them I'm like, that was actually cool. And some of them I'm like, wow, you
let that fly, huh?
You sure have grown, Justin.
Yeah.
So, but if you look at the progression of my music, right?
Yeah.
That I've been involved in, Liquid Blue was kind of like more rock, kind of hard rock, heavy rock.
Yeah.
What I was listening to at that time was like new metal type stuff. Towards the tail end of Liquid Blue, something happened. I was introduced to Killswitch Engage.
Okay.
And melodic metalcore.
Right.
And I was introduced to Soilwork.
Right.
I was introduced to Meshuggah. I had this, when I was working overnights at Kohl's, I had this manager. At that time, I was cleaning toilets. I was a janitor. I'm not kidding, dude. I've done it all. And my manager at the time, his name was Steve. What a cool dude. He introduced me to Meshuggah.
Yeah.
But he also, actually, you know who's responsible for me learning about your band Sublevel?
What's that?
Steve.
Oh,
Overnight
really?
Steve at Kohl's.
No shit.
He's like, you got to check out Smiling Liar. You got to check out Sublevel.
Oh,
you got to check out Meshuggah.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Thanks, Steve, for this awesome relationship that I have. And actually, you know how I feel about you, dude. I love you. And I love how you inspired me as a musician. So I always like to say I'm a fan first. But so Liquid Blue was happening, right?
Yeah.
And then I was introduced to all this new stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? You can go lower than drop D? Cool. Let's try drop C.
Yeah, that was the thing, wasn't it?
So Liquid Blue happens. I'm like, I'm gonna take a break from music for a while, and I didn't. I was just playing, and then I had met some folks in Death Row Martyr and Chris Hunter. I don't know if you know who Chris Hunter is, but it was Chris Hunter and Kevin Lindau.
Yep.
And we did Death Row Martyr, and that was insane. We were drinking band with a metal problem.
Very, very cool band. Very cool image. Very cool group of guys, man. What a bunch of maniacs. Every one of those guys were fun.
Yeah. We like to say we were drinking band with a metal problem.
Hell yeah.
And I learned a lot. I learned so much from that band of what it's like to have stage presence always. How to write really technical, cool stuff.
That's a pretty big jump, right? From
the
Kills. Like that's a big jump,
dude. It was a super big jump going from Liquid Blue to Death Row. Yeah. And Chris Hunter was an incredibly talented guitar player.
Right.
He's still around.
Right.
And I learned so much from him as a guitar player. Like it was incredible.
Now is he still jamming at all? I know he's married. He's married and had kids, right?
Living an awesome life. So happy.
He
for
like
him.
California or something? Oh, he was
still in Minnesota.
Oh, he's still in Minnesota. Okay.
Yeah. We every once in a while we bump into each other, and it's big hugs and kisses. You know, I love that dude so much. So him, Neil Eldridge,
dude, I seen him in the airport with his wife, and I'm looking at him, and he looked at me, and we're both kind of walking, and I'm going, wait, that looks like Chris, and I'm like, yeah. And then I saw him. I sent him online. I was like, dude, were you traveling at this particular? He's like, yep, that was me. I was like, what? I didn't say hi because I didn't want, you know what I mean? I didn't want to be the weird guy standing there. Hey, dude. How's it going, man? You know?
Yeah, man. So did the Death Row Martyr thing, learned a ton about what it was like to play in drop B and some more lower tunings that I hadn't known existed. Did that, and, you know, that just, you know, things move, people grow, people do other things.
Right.
At that point in time, I was changing in my life, and I had to exit, and I went back to school for graphic design. And like changed my whole life. You know, I quit working at Kohl's, sold my house, got rid of everything.
Like you stopped playing altogether, right? Like you weren't playing at all, were you?
Yeah, Death Row Martyr was a hard one for me. I didn't want to go, but I just needed change in my life. So I did, and I just stopped. That was it.
Yeah.
And
I remember us playing a show together, and you were very emotional. And it might have been that your
was my
last show.
That was my last one.
I remember you being very emotional, and the rest of them were very emotional as well. And you know when you see someone so into what they're doing, you know, I know because I'm there with you. I felt, I watched it, I felt it. I know how that feels to be up there and jamming and doing your thing and really tapping into those things that you love. That purge of emotion that we need as creatives in general, you know. Yep. I've had many friends do that same thing. The original guitar player from Sublevel. That is why Sublevel broke up, is because of spiritual things and life,
Yeah.
prison. I mean, there was a lot of things that happened.
The other thing that people don't account for
Yeah.
is like, yeah, we play in these bands and we do these things,
Yeah.
but we're like also humans outside of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And last time I checked, humans are messy.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree, man. I mean, it's,
You know, so it's hard doing this.
yeah,
It's really hard doing it. You really have to love it.
yeah.
You know,
For the right reasons too.
for the right reasons. Yeah.
Because I mean, if something comes in and you're not right in the head, you can't be creative. It's impossible.
Not at all.
You're going through the motions, man. I can say this, we talked a little bit about care,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
before we went on air, and we can get to that.
Yep.
But as you get older, things changed for me. Things changed for me through the whole deal, and at the end of it, we had a full album ready to go, and I just stepped away from it. And it was one of those things where I just felt like I was losing control of it, and I was reading lyrics on stage, right?
Oh,
I had
man.
my stuff in
That's
my hand,
tough.
or it's on the floor.
Yeah.
And to me, you're not ready you shouldn't be playing that stuff. And because musicians are different than vocalists, because they can play that tune, they could take it home, and I could go home and sing and do all that other shit, but it's not going to be that same feel of where is it going to be while we're writing this, while we're really molding it into something, and as you get older, that 1 day a week, 2 days a week, it starts to take a toll. You just can't do that anymore. And I wanted to leave it. This is where I'll say this. I wanted to leave music on a note where I was like, I really loved doing it. I had a great time. I would love to do it again, but the circumstances would be absolutely perfect. It'd have to be absolutely perfect. It could be a studio project for that, for all that matter. But it's changed so much, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, has it? Obviously, with the death row martyr stuff, you live life a little bit. You go, you step away from the music for a little while.
Yep.
Where's your mindset at that time? You're just trying to cope. You're just trying to get through the bullshit of life, or
Reset, my brother.
yeah,
Just like when I broke my back, right?
yeah.
Reset. Reset, refocus, refine.
You become the Pheonix.
Yeah, reset, refocus, refine, man. I think I just wanted to really discover some pieces of me that I didn't think I had found yet. And once again, a phone call happened. Then I ended up in Sumerian.
Yeah.
Did the Sumerian thing for a little bit. And then
Makes me think of Conan.
yeah. Did that, and then after Sumerian came Standing Alliance, and that was 9 years. And
Damn.
man, but that's where like my love for melodic metalcore like really.
So how long was Death Row?
Gosh, I don't know. I'd have to call up Kevin or something like that. That's one of the guys. I mean, they were together a while, but I think it was like 3 years.
Okay.
I think it was 3 years.
So you got 6 on the one, 3 on the next one, and then 9 on next.
on Standing.
Well,
yeah.
you did.
Sumerian was like a short break. I mean,
Gotcha.
it was cool. I'm glad I did it. I was invited into that band and then kicked out of the band.
Now,
Yeah.
how about members between any of the bands? Are there any members from past bands in this band?
Yeah. So that's where it kind of goes full circle. So the reason I was kicked out of Sumerian was because I was too heavy.
Mhm.
And
That's so funny.
I don't think Brady was happy about that.
Yeah.
I'm not. When I say this, I'm not talking shade about that project or anything like that.
Yeah,
I just want to be really clear that
Yeah.
I am grateful for every step
Yeah.
that I have taken in my musical career.
Yeah.
And now where I'm at in my journey, when I look back on those things, the hard stuff that might have happened, I've given peace and forgiveness to those things.
Right.
And I only want to remember the love that happened, because I don't care what anybody says. There's a lot of love that happens when you're making music with people.
Yeah.
And for me, that's really important to remember. It takes a lot of growing up, man. It takes a lot of growing up to get to that place. But so with Sumerian, Brady had actually reached out to me, and he's like, hey, we're doing this Dreams Aside thing, and we got these, a couple songs put together. They had done a song with Jerry, and I listened to it, and I was like, wow, this is good.
Yeah. Jerry's got such a powerful voice, dude.
Yeah. I mean, he's just incredible.
Dude, he's a talented dude, and the guy, Jerry, don't take this wrong. You're deceptively intelligent.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
just-
Like he's very subdued, chill cat. You know what I mean, and incredibly intelligent.
He's my. I'd like to say he's my philosophical homie.
For sure.
Him and I sit down and talk philosophy all the time. It's
And
really
he's dropped some nuggets. Like he's good.
They're
guy,
in
good
there.
guy. Very talented dude. Man, I remember seeing one of his old bands at like, God, what the hell is that place on Monty's? I want to say Monty's or something on University there. You know what I'm talking about? In is that Spring Lake Park or whatever, Plain, whatever. Yeah, it's been a long time. It's some chick brought me to one of his shows, and I'm like, he's wearing goggles on his head and shit. He's always had the dread hair, but oh wait, maybe not. They was smaller. He always had the do rag.
Yeah. So, so that's how it kind of, when Standing Alliance had come to a close, I was yet at another crossroads. Like, dude, what do I do?
Yeah.
And I had wanted to explore deeper tunings, because I've moved past this journey of like new metal into soil work and into Kill Switch Engage.
Right.
Now I'm in like what it feels like the metaverse of like metal, and I'm like, bleh.
Right.
I'm taking in all this stuff. And then all of a sudden I bump into a lovely band called The Architects.
There you go.
And at that point in time, they came into my life at an incredibly deep moment of hardship. And All Our Gods Have Failed Us, that album came out. And, that was the time their guitar player was going through cancer. And there was a song that just like, man, it's my favorite song ever. And I was like, man, I love the way these guitars sound.
Yeah.
So guess what I did?
You're chasing the
Dude,
tone.
I went and bought a 7-string.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd never played a 7-string in my life. I was like, what is this strange thing? And then I went down to
Z sharp.
Dude, I went down.
Yeah.
I actually went down to drop A.
Yeah.
And then I just started writing like a madman.
Right.
I just went crazy.
Did you found the tone?
I found the thing that I needed to inspire me.
Right.
And as it turns out, I had probably 4 or 5 songs written, just like in its entirety done.
Yeah.
Because I was just going to do my own stuff.
Yeah.
And hire singers and to work with and
Yeah.
whatever. Because I was doing my own production work at home. And of course, Brady calls me and he's like, dude, do you want to try this again? And I was like, sure, let's do it. And
You're ready again.
yeah, I was ready. It was where I was in my journey, and like it felt right. My intuition was like, cool, let's do it.
They all seem like happy guys. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like they seem very well adjusted dudes. They don't seem
I'm
like
grateful, man.
like a bunch of drug addicts. You know what I mean? It's really crazy, dude. To sit here week after week and talk to some of these younger bands and see these things that we talk about as a little bit older guys,
As
you know
elders?
what I'm saying? Well, yeah, you know, just a little bit further in the journey. That's all it is, really.
That's all
you know
it
what I mean?
is. Yep.
Because we're still young kids. We're fucking just, men children,
Yeah,
really.
men children, yeah.
We're just trying to live those the dreams that we had when we were young. Getting up there. I always thought it was like you're tapping into your youth again, man. You're staying young. Sucking the life out of everybody in front. Yeah, they're getting into it.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's been a really cool experience. Just going into that deeper realm of some of the music I was listening to at that point in time. Even I was listening. I was really exploring, man. The Architects and North Lane and Bury Your Dead, and man, I was just running the gamut of how much freaking heavier can I get, right? Acacia Strain and all this stuff. So that's what kind of landed me on the lower tuning side of things and starting to play 7 strings. And it's funny. Once again, I learned from my experience of being too cerebral about what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I threw theory out the door and said, just start writing music again, Justin.
Right.
And that's what I did. And it felt really good. It was an amazing experience learning how to play a 7-string. I didn't learn a bunch of like 7-string cover songs, to figure out how to navigate an extra string.
Did you just kind of take what you already knew and just applied it in different?
Dude, yes. So funny how Deftones have Mr. Stephen Carpenter, my guy.
Right.
He's just such an inspiration to me. So how, like, if you listen to the graduation of Deftones records from Adrenaline to Around the Fur to White Pony, and then so on, they just kept going lower and lower and lower.
Yeah.
And Stefan's exploration went from 6-string to 7-string to 8-string.
Right.
And then so on. I did not mean this to happen. I'm not trying to copy Stefan.
Right.
How it happened for me was kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Started in drop D.
Yeah.
Moved to drop C.
Right.
Did some
Your
C
vibrations
sharp.
changed.
Yeah, man. I just started connecting differently. Right. The vibration, the frequencies, it was just really resonating with me. And then now drop A sharp, and starting to explore drop G sharp,
right,
stuff like that. But yeah, it's just, I mean, you've seen me play, right, man?
Yeah.
Like, I'm a rhythm player.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be your super shredder.
Yeah.
I love a groove. And man, I'm telling you, when that low string sinks in with a kick drum, you can make a head bounce all day, man. And I love it.
Oh, yeah. The stink faces.
I love it.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
So, yeah, that's kind of what landed me here now and where we're at.
What can you tell me about My Window?
Ooh. This is probably the angriest song off of our upcoming album.
Awesome.
Funny story. Started with a riff, which is the intro riff. And it then progressively, once again, was written with all four of us sitting in the room, talking it, hashing it out. I think I had that riff, the intro riff that you'll hear. That riff sat with me for 2 years before I finally made it to tape.
Wow.
Yep.
Now, was that like on phone? Did you have it recorded somewhere? Did you just keep it?
I now have an active practice where voice memos on the old iPhone. I have so many recordings that, like, I'll go back and listen because if I have it, I just hear this stuff in my head, man.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
And I just feel compelled that, like, whatever's happening here, I have to get it out.
Right.
As it
It'll
turns
drive you
out,
mad if you don't.
As it turns out, the way that I do it is through this piece of wood with strings on it.
Right.
And so I've started because the guys will tell you, they're like, Justin he'll come to practice with like 10 riffs one day. And it's just like, because I just can't. But yeah, man, this thing has saved my pants a couple times.
Make sure you fucking back it up, dude.
Yeah.
That is the most terrifying thing to me.
Oh, bro.
I broke a phone, switched phones, and you know how they sync them, and some things will come and they won't come. Dude, I had like 6 songs that we were openly practicing and trying to get this music down, and I lost all of them. And I'm like, okay, I remembered I said this. You know what I mean? And I'm getting this little framework, and then all of a sudden the next day it's like they start filing in. I'm like, no.
One thing that I wanted to share really quick before we go to the song.
Sure.
You have no idea how many funny outtakes I have from us, because when we're writing together, I use my phone a ton so we can, and then we kick back our examples, like our sessions, to each other in the band chat. Like, hey, this is what we did last night. Don't forget it.
Yeah.
But I mean, you always have Brady hauling off in the background saying something or laughing at, he'll shake a building down and he laughs too loud. I'll tell you
That's
what.
awesome, dude.
But that's the other thing that I've noticed with like what I like to call time stamping our creativity.
Yeah.
It's so funny, some of the stuff that comes out. I'm just so glad we have the technology to be able
to record it,
great thing.
Pick it up, and have that little time, a little stamp in time, dude. Totally. That's fantastic, man. Well, let's take a listen to the window and to the walls. We'll take a listen to this one, and we'll be right back. Stick around, folks. Beautiful job, boys. I like it, man.
Thanks,
Very,
man.
very cool tune, man. Very
Thank you.
cool.
Yes, it's heavy.
I listened to all this shit before you came, and I was just like, dude, this shit's fucking mean, dude. It's really good. I wanted to go back to the creativity part, man. And it's something that I've been asking a lot of people because it's something I don't know, man. My question is like, when you hit a block, you know,
Oh yeah.
because especially in times when you're really questioning whether you want to do it anymore.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and then you come back and you may hit this spark where your riffs are coming out of your ears, and then all of a sudden, how do you keep? And it's not just music. Let me ask you this in a really wide spectrum. How do you keep creative in general? Like if you're going to school for music, you know, you there's creative ways to record things. There's different ways to place mics. There's different ways to do different things. Now, when you go back to school to do graphic design, that is a whole nother realm of creativity. Now you add that on physical playing and being creative. How do you break it? How do you continue to like move forward to be creative?
That's an awesome question. I think this is kind of a multi-part answer. So if I'm getting too squirrely over here,
you can do what you want,
or all over the place. But I'll just share my process of staying creative.
Yeah.
And then maybe the listeners can resonate with it, or maybe it's kind of a cool insight. But I think there's just multiple facets in staying creative, especially when, you know, life is just, dude, life's gnarly. It almost seems, before I get into how I stay creative, it almost seems like a lot of times life is fighting creativity, right? Because we place so much importance on priorities of getting things done. You know, there's almost this strange thing that has happened with society where we always have to perform, which actually gets in the way of what the root of creativity is, right? I mean, when you look at a kid, what makes them so creative? It's because they're present and in the moment. They're right here, right now.
Yeah.
Man, if we could all just be kids again, even when we're in our 40s or 50s, it doesn't matter. Imagine how much more beneficial we could potentially be. Right? Because we're just busy being us.
Right. Yeah.
That's what makes kids so awesome.
Yeah.
So I just want to start there. So how do I try to stay creative? Well, I know what I'm serving. I'm not serving anything else but everything outside of me. I'm not doing this for accolades. I'm not doing this for any other thing but the joy of doing and creating, and being present and in the moment. So I think for me, one active practice is just, you know, deep meditation, often, and detaching from everything around you. You know, back to the performance type thing. So it's just an active practice daily, that I just make time in my day to separate myself. These silly things, as
poisonous,
as great as they can be, they can really do some harm, right?
Big time.
We've learned that.
Yeah.
So just detach from everything, you know? Sometimes dude, I'll just go sit in the grass. I know that sounds damn silly, but even that active practice can really just open up these pieces of your mind.
Yeah.
I've also gotten into working out and staying in shape, staying physically fit.
Yeah.
And having a process for that, you know, whether it be going for walks or going to the gym, or you know, just having a goal to keep you moving, keep your body going.
Yeah.
And then of course I think is just a spiritual connection with life. I think oftentimes we get this, once again, that's why I led with that. We feel like we need to perform. And everything that we need to do is to serve everybody else. When what you should be doing is serving the thing that you're creating and really giving love and compassion to what that is in the moment. That's the best you can do for it.
Yeah.
I truly don't believe, and I mean this, we don't ever actually know the outcome of anything. So why the hell are we spending so much damn time worried about what everybody else thinks? when we should just be creating the thing that we love and loving the thing that we create.
Yeah.
And that should be enough. And the way that I look at it is, if I'm serving that and I'm just really taking care of it, you and I were talking about this before we turned on the cameras and the microphones.
Yeah.
You asked me about care.
Yeah.
I care about music so much differently now, because I'm less concerned about, well, what's somebody going to think about this? Or, there's a lot of times in our songs where a verse will go in order of 3 versus an even number.
Right.
I don't know, but for the 4 of us sitting in the room, it really felt good the way that it sounds.
Right.
And so
now, was that a conscious thought? Because I've tried to do, and I know other bands do that consciously, or how do you say this? Some musicians get caught up playing for other musicians and not so much for themselves. So, like, if you make a conscious effort to go, I don't want to go 2/4, 4/6, 4, 6/8. You know what I'm saying? You just kind of throw something a little off, and then it feels good, and then you're like, wow, what was that? Or the Bob Ross. It was just that happy little mistake, and all of a sudden it's like, dude, that's really cool. Let's add that.
So there was a book that I read.
Yeah.
It's The Creative Act by Rick Rubin, an incredible book, and it's
like Rick Rubin, the
producer.
Okay.
And there was I think it was Toxicity, when he was working with System of a Down, and Serge, for the life of him, he could not.
You're talking about the book.
The book, right? Holy crap!
Word for word excerpt.
Right. But imagine,
dude, all those books. Did you, when he was talking about it?
Out of all of it, but it was, so why I like to bring this up in this conversation is Rick didn't say, let's do this for an outcome. He just said, go grab the thing. Tell me what you think. And it became the best thing
in the song. But what's so weird and organic about it is what he grabbed and what he picked. How does that happen?
Universe, man. I know this sounds woo-woo as shit and all that, but I just believe if you are free and you're not overthinking every single little thing you're doing, you can just make the best thing, and the best thing will come to you.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is we spend so much of our time potentially. I don't want to speak for anybody. I'm just going to speak for me.
Sure.
In my growth, I have learned that I have spent, in moments where I was so uncomfortable, I spent so much time seeking and wanting the thing to happen, that when it finally happened, hey, I didn't actually really enjoy it, and it didn't feel organic and right. It just didn't feel great. So what if? And what I told myself was, dude, what if you stop doing that and just let it come?
Yeah.
Accept it, receive it for the thing it is, and then just give care and appreciation and gratitude for the thing you got.
Right.
And
dude, as human beings, I think we fall so short of that, on a daily basis. I know we got into a little bit of that woo-woo before we went on, because I don't tell a lot of people the way I broke it down to you, the ring and the circle.
Yeah,
and
dude, it was so great.
The vibration, and well,
yeah, it's great.
Being, like, kind of like a Voltron almost, you know what I mean? Like, one machine doesn't fight this big battle. It's all the machines together.
Yeah,
and we were talking about being the conduit to something. Not to be like, I've never been a real religious person. I've always, or even a huge spiritual person, but I've always believed, and it was always taught to be respectful of other people's beliefs and other people's things, right? So it's like, if people believe what they want to believe, and I see that they pull strength from what they believe, because a lot of people do. If you're full-hearted into something, right, you believe that this is what changes you for the better, you're going to go to, most intelligent people will try to feed that part of themselves, right? They'll try to grow and become something different than what they were,
right?
Well, the feeling of getting in a room with a group of guys that when you first meet, and then it becomes like that, the chemistry between it. Yeah, we could be the most talented guys in the world, but this guy's wants to challenge this guy all the time. It's a big toxic pile of junk, you know?
Yeah, that never goes well.
But when you open up to being, you know, going through the Liquid Blue, the Death Row Martyr, the significantly hard situations to pull away from music, that's always something that always puzzled me, because you know you're not going to quit music. You know that it's still there with you, but it is so chaotic at the time that you feel like it is just one more thing that's overwhelming you. Totally. I know so many musicians that have lost their way that way. And then they come back a few years later and they go, what was I doing? Why didn't anybody say anything? And it's like, you know what? You can't. It's like trying to tell a drug addict, like, hey, we're going to get you clean today. We're going to go put you in a place that you've never been, with all these uncomfortable feelings and emotions and shit that you've been running away from your whole life. Here you go now. And we're going to take away that comfort blanket from you. And you're going to stand there naked as a jaybird and vulnerable and horrible. And you know what I mean? And you're feeling nasty. And you know what you get what I'm saying, man.
Totally.
When explaining the feeling of getting in a room with a group of guys you barely know, and then all of a sudden you start to learn each other's quirks and things and musical styles, and the way where you can, and I've seen guys do this a lot, and I love to hear it talking to these bands where they're playing with each other, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 12 years into it, and they can write a piece and go, I already know what he's going to do. I know where he's at. You know what I mean? And I love to have that, like, that one riff, you know, that riff that you find out and you put it on your phone and you bring it to practice and you play it and you go, okay, you listen to it first. And then you set it down and you go, okay, this is what I had the other day, you know, and a guy goes, oh, that's cool. Let me, you know, and he gets into it. And then all of a sudden the next guy, and then all of a sudden again, the vibrations in the room are so strong and it comes to one solid, you know,
well, I think there's a really important piece that you're talking about, and it's removal of ego. You have to, I think, to serve.
How?
Right.
How did you get there?
Man, lots of bumps and bruises, right? But I think, man.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because the bumps and bruises are they'll pull you away. It'll either make you'll take those bumps and you'll analyze it and go, I know what I'm doing is good and creative and it feels good to me. The other guy wasn't feeling it. You can't take it personal, right? So how did your ego death happen? Because it had to have, for you to be able to sit in this situation where we're talking about manifesting things. You opened yourself up to that. And having ego is like having a giant fucking shell on you, you know?
Oh, dude. It's the largest piece of armor you'll ever carry, and it's a heavy one.
But you think that it's protecting you when it's really a lot of times harming you, because you're so close-minded to all of it. Like,
I think, to answer your question, when did it happen? And I think is when I was tired of feeling sad in moments where I should have been really fucking happy. You know? In moments where, now does that come from personal stuff, or is it musical, or both? I think that's both, man.
Okay.
I don't.
Pain just manifests from everywhere, right?
Well, right. I think, you know, in my experience, something that's really important, that's been really important to me, and I'll share this in hopes that it maybe helps somebody, but I think about every time I've gotten a relationship wrong or said the thing I didn't want to say, or, man, just wasn't acting in my character, right? Like, you know, we all do that. We all make those mistakes. When I look back at those moments, I think about how I felt. And I think about how potentially I made the other person feel. Man, I just don't want to feel like that anymore. And I don't want to feel sad in moments where I should be really glad. I don't want to feel like I'm missing out on something because my own self's getting in my own damn way of enjoying the thing that's right in front of me. Which, the thing that, for most part, if you really distill down our lives to moments, if you look at your life and a lot of those moments that are happening in front of you from a place of like, man, I'm really in love with this, how much joy you're going to feel? And being grateful for just those small things. that was it. Goodbye, ego. Because it ain't about me anymore.
Yeah.
It's about love and connection.
Now, now did that happen, with you having kids? Did that, was that where you open up? I mean, because it changed. I know from my own experience, and I could answer that question myself, but for you, was that something that, it's obviously, it's a karmatic shift in your life. It's a really big, when as a musician, when you realize that it's greater than you are, and you can step back in that situation, but looking at your own creation and saying, yeah, being in a band's fantastic, and I look at my kids and and they're not, overachievers by any means, but dude, just the smile on their face.
Oh, dude, it's the best. But I think, I want to go back to what you and I had talked about maybe into when we started talking, when we turned on the cameras and stuff. Adversity would be the greatest teacher you ever find in your life.
I agree.
I mean that.
I agree.
And I think I just done faced so much adversity. I think sometimes one thing where, once again, a lot of the things I'm sharing, I don't want to put on other people, but if what I'm sharing resonates and helps, I'm going to say it based off of my experience. I think oftentimes we try to separate ourselves in buckets. Here's my work life. Here's my personal life. Here's my band life.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what a hard thing to do,
mm-hmm.
right? You go to work trying to be this person, this version of you, which if you take a look at it, it's all connected to ego, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to your personal life and you're like, oh, maybe I can kind of kick my shoes off, put the feet up on the table and laugh a little. And then you go to your band life and you're like, oh, man, it's off the chain, right? Like, I can really be unhinged.
Mm-hmm.
What I learned was I was too busy putting things in buckets. Here's my band life, here's my personal life, here's my work life.
Mm-hmm.
That, man, it's hard at times, and at any point in time, I think in our lives, I don't know, I don't want to speak for you, but we face that conflict.
Yeah.
Until life really gets really hard.
Yeah.
And it has no other option but to show up in your work life.
Yeah.
And everything else.
Yeah.
And for me, that was a health scare. That was going blind. That was, dude, that was breaking my back.
Yeah.
That was getting cancer, right? Like, dude, when you kind of, when you can't separate those things anymore.
Yeah.
Whew, man, your ego shot, because now you're vulnerable, you're humble, there's all kinds of things happening.
Those are important things.
And I think for me, that was a turning point where I can't look at life in these buckets anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I have to look at life as me.
Yeah.
And these things are a part of me, and I am a part of it.
Right.
I am in it. I'm a character in this thing.
Yeah.
But there are so many other characters.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think what I love about music, what I love about it's a universal language. It helps us connect on personal levels that you just can't get with any other thing.
Yeah.
Man, that was when things really changed for me.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, with that came kids, right? Because kids, they automatically shift your life.
Mm-hmm.
It's an instant change. You can't. There's no avoiding it. There's no getting around it.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes and no. I mean, for me, there's a lot of regret in there too, man. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of regret in there. I mean, there's no handbook
Dude,
at all.
That death of ego didn't happen without like,
yeah.
Man, I really fucked that up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I made a big mistake here.
Yeah.
And then it's just letting your ego go and say, I did get this wrong.
Yeah.
Or I could have done that better.
Yeah.
Or I'm growing. I'm an imperfect version of who I am.
Yeah.
And I'm accepting of that.
Ego is a motherfucker, man.
It
really is. Man. I think I fight with it.
We all do.
I fight with it so much because having just a persona of we kind of talked about that off the air too, like having a persona of being this tough guy, or, this person that, and really a lot of times, man, it was just, I felt more vulnerable than anything. I just,
protect ourselves,
Yeah, you put up the face, you get the mad face, and people leave you be. And I don't know how many times I've heard people say, "Dude, you were so intimidating back in those days," and and that was the face that I had on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where a lot of times I think I was more afraid that people would see who I really was, and again, that for me was the thing that wore me the most. Then was, we were getting accolades being sub-level and Necromis and things like that, and we were doing well and playing great shows and having people wanting to play with us. So you feel more important because you can actually help other people to play, come on, let's play these shows. Yeah, I can get you into this club, and you actually open doors for people. And a lot of times, and you know this, man, you help people that don't fucking deserve it, And I mean, even with the podcast, there's been times where we talked about this off air as well, is that, a lot of bands will come here and they're unprepared. They don't have 3 songs. We're going to talk about 1 song, Are you got any videos in the works? Do you have anything, well, no, we're looking for this, and and I don't mind being that platform as well, but the ego's a trip, man, because you start to feel, more important than you really are. And when you get slammed to earth, man, you know what I mean?
Yep.
When you really, and here's my thing, is that the older I get, man, I've seen so much come and go. And now I feel like I'm the one on the edge of going.
Yeah.
Now I stay on the periphery of music with the podcast and everything. But again, when do I become the old guy? Like, who the fuck is this guy, and what is he talking about, and where'd he come from? Because a lot of times, some of these young cats, they don't have a clue where I'm from or where I'm at,
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that, dude. Honestly,
it's a very humbling experience, isn't it?
Well, here's the thing: we spend so much time wanting to be the show pony.
Yeah.
And then you get to the point where you're the show pony, and then you realize how fucking stupid it is.
How weird it is.
And why is it that I have to be somebody else? A radio guy put me on Front Street, and now he would do this to me. I don't know if it was a jab, because we were kind of after some of the same girls at the time, but he would just announce you, "Hey, it's so and so from this band," and you just look over like. And people would pay attention because he's a radio guy. And you're just like, I had to just pull him aside and go, "Dude, don't ever do that to me again. That feels so fucking weird."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hey, look at him. Woo, woo. And you're like, let's go smoke a joint. Like, come on, dude. Like, this is ridiculous, Yeah, ego's really, really, it's much like jealousy.
Yeah.
Eat you alive. You know what I'm saying?
It'll take you down, dude.
Yeah.
Take you down.
How do you combat it on a regular basis, man? How are you able to keep yourself humble and like,
It's I don't know if you've ever watched Ted Lasso.
I have not.
Incredible TV show. It's about a coach that was really great at coaching a football team over here in the States. Ends up getting called over to coach a soccer team.
In Europe or something?
In Europe.
Yeah.
And
that's got to be kind of silly.
He ends up taking the job because he's going through a divorce.
Yeah.
Nobody knows about it, right?
Yeah.
Well, imagine, here for this major soccer team, they got this coach that's doesn't know a damn thing about soccer, but here he is.
Yeah.
What the hell, right? So he goes. It's a really cool TV show. It's 3 seasons, but what I love about Ted Lasso and what I love about Ted, who's the head coach, he has this line in there, and he's got tons of them, but be curious, not judgmental. I think what helps me...
Dude, that's hard.
Yeah, what helps me reframe in a lot of situations I find myself in, or just in life, just walking, because I bartend, being a musician, being a bartender. I also have a full-time job working in learning and development and leadership development, stuff like that. You spend a lot of time with a lot of people, right? And be curious, not judgmental. I just say that on repeat in my head. So when I walk into situations, what I'm looking for is to learn.
Yeah.
Not looking to place my opinions or my judgment on anything.
God, is that hard, dude? Holy smokes.
You know?
That's a deep thought, man. That's
Yeah.
really deep.
And I think that's really helped me with keeping my ego at check.
Yeah.
You know, there is a certain amount of ego that needs to be in place to help
Yeah.
us because it does keep us safe at times.
As men or musicians or both?
I would just say as men, women, as the human race,
Okay.
we wouldn't have been given it unless it was a tool,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's like anything in life, right? You can
Yeah.
use it for good or you can use it for evil.
Right.
It's about that balance. And for me, that has been something that just like, it woke me up when I heard that. And the whole thing, you know, that scene where this quote comes from is, you know, Ted is playing darts with the old owner of said soccer team.
Okay.
As it turns out, it's a really funny show.
Okay.
As it turns out, the old owner, his ex-wife, who he sold the soccer team to,
Yeah.
is trying to destroy the soccer team. And that's why she hired Ted.
Oh, gotcha.
To get back at this guy.
Yeah.
So now imagine the dynamics that's happening, right?
Yeah.
And the owner, the old owner of the soccer team
right.
is just giving Ted shit. And
Yeah.
he's kicking his butt.
Yeah.
Playing darts,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Well, what this owner doesn't know is that Ted, he played Dart League with his dad.
Oh, Jesus. So is he sharking him the whole time?
So he's sharking him the whole time. And it comes down to it where there's the end of the scene and it's down to the end.
Yeah.
Ted looks at the bar owner and says, "What do I need?" And it's nearly impossible to make,
Yeah.
right? And the owner's like, or the old owner, you know, CEO guy, he's like, "I got this game. It's done." And the whole time Ted's like, "You know, there's something really funny. Is if you would have asked me a few questions, you would have learned that every day my dad picked me up from school and brought me to Dart League, shoots one, nails it.
Oh, yeah.
And he did this for 6 years, shoots one, nails it,
Yeah.
ends up beating this man
Yeah.
and says, now, if you would have spent more time asking me questions and learning, you wouldn't have lost your seat in the whatever of the room. Be curious, not judgmental." And it was just, it was a really powerful moment.
That's deep.
And just it, you know, but that's just kind of how I am now. I'm always looking around.
You're open,
me.
dude. You're open.
I'm just, man, and it's effort, right? Like it's hard work every day.
Yeah.
But it's just an active practice of knowing that I don't know it all. I really don't.
Yeah.
Actually, I just know such a small fraction of what it's like to experience Earth and people and other humans and their different walks of life that I have to learn every day.
Damn, dude, that's deep. Damn, that's deep. That's real right there, man. That's a fucking thing everybody can learn from right there, whether it comes from a TV show or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That is
so
a deep
powerful.
concept, man.
So
that
powerful.
really is.
Yeah, so powerful.
Because honestly, if you think about it, if I look back and think about it, how many times that I would have been able to win a certain situation,
Yeah, totally.
and not even to win, for money or accolades or anything like that, but just to win here.
Win here and
You
feel
know?
better here. Right? I think that's the thing. I think that's the thing that we're all trying to figure out is how do we be joyful?
Right.
How do we live our days just a little less heavy?
Yeah.
And I think that has just been such a focus for me, you know? That's what my health scare did for me. I can't get stressed. If I get too stressed, I'll go blind. That's weird. That's a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
So everything that I've been trying to do is to keep me healthy and still being able to see.
Right.
And what I've learned is like there's so much work that needs to be done in here.
Yeah.
And in here.
Yeah.
Like here and here. That I have to go inward before I even look outward. It has to start with me.
Yeah.
And it's been those things I think, has helped with writing this album. It has helped with hanging out with these wonderful musicians and being a dad and all those things. Dude, I love waking up in the morning. And if my kids are sitting there and they're staring, I'm not mad. I'm curious. Why are you up and what are you doing?
Right. Yeah.
Dad, I miss you. I just want to cuddle with you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Listen, I don't care what time of day it is.
Yeah.
Like, bring it right here.
Yep.
I'm here for it, man.
Oh, yeah.
Those moments are gonna stop.
Yeah. Yeah, my youngest is at 19 right now, and she'll just crawl into my lap, like she did when she was little, and I don't even say a word. I'm just like, okay, here you go.
Yep. So there you go, man. That's my take on it, I guess.
Yeah, it's a beautiful take, man.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it, man. How long before you guys are ready to release the Pheonix? What I know you said you were working on it for quite some time. You've been chomping away at it for a while.
We are down to our last 2 songs being finally mixed and mastered, which is really great. Once that is all done, solidified, then we just start the, as an artist, and as a musician, we go through these cyclical cycles when you're doing this, right? Like, it's like write the stuff, record the stuff, figure out how you're going to release the stuff, and then what you're going to release with the stuff.
Well, shit, in the middle of that, as you're playing in practicing it, you're analyzing it, right? You're analyzing, you're tweaking it, you're doing all this, and then you go, it doesn't flow right like that. Then you're playing them out, and then you're like, okay, now we got to go in and get our pre-production ready to go, get our clicks going, set it all up, and then dude, it's such a trip, man.
It's a trip.
I miss it. I miss it so much.
It's a journey, and unless, once again, like I just wish there's just like people who be a musician or an artist. Man, I just wish I could take somebody on my side through it, just even for a month,
right? And
just show that, like, this is what you're missing out on. Like, just the process of it. And this album has taken a little bit longer than Lotus. I think this one's taken about 2.5 years, 3 years to write and get done.
How many songs?
I think we're going to end at 11 or 12.
Okay, good.
Which is super fun, super exciting. We did a blend of 7-string songs and 6-string songs, and drop A sharp and drop A.
Now let me interrupt here. So this last one, which is end of Solace. Now are these all of these tunes from this deal? Okay,
Nobody's ever heard them.
Okay, I wanted to make sure.
First time here.
So this is now. How is the process of dropping each one of these as a single? Like let me pick your brain on that, because I think it's this came up when I was still over in Spring Lake Park, and I was talking to, now they're defunct now, but Buried Above Ground, and they were kind of controversial with the art thing and all this other shit, but there were things that they were doing that a lot of people weren't doing at that time, and that what they were doing were dropping the singles, just trickling them out to people. Like, here's something to listen to. Chew on that for a little bit. It'd be a lyric video or something. And the first one we listened to was a lyric video with the fantastic vocalist from Killswitch Engage. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, what was your thought process in dropping that stuff? Was it just to keep it in fresh in people's mind that you guys were working on it, and that maybe it was taking a little time, or?
Man, I don't know. Like, in some ways I look back and reflect on it, but also to stay true to who I am. Like, I think it was just meant to happen the way it happened, Square One is actually the very first song that came off of what's going to be this album.
Yeah.
That Square One was released almost 2 years ago.
Okay.
That's something crazy. And then we did The Distance, we did the cover by Cake. And then I think what we do and how we do it, right, wrong, or indifferent, we're learning and growing too, man. Like, did we do it wrong? Probably. I don't know. But we just felt like right now, when Square One was written and finally done and produced, we were just really excited to share that artwork.
Well, that makes sense. Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it was with The Distance. I remember, like, sitting down with the guys, and I was like, because The Distance was kind of like it was spearheaded by me because
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
really like that song, and it's really cool. And I always wanted to make it into a heavy metal song.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, that da-dun, 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 da-dun.
Right.
I was like, imagine if that was metal.
Yeah.
And I remember Jerry and Mike specifically were like, dude, I don't know if this is going to work.
Right.
And then we did it, and they were like, oh, this is cool, man. This is really great.
Yeah.
And I was like, I told you. And they were like, okay. But then we were like, we got to shoot a video for this thing.
Yeah.
And we went down this whole creative journey. Like, if you go watch our music video for that song, go watch the old one.
Okay.
We have all kinds of Easter eggs in the things that we did.
Oh, shit.
Like,
Very cool.
there's a cow in their version.
Okay.
Brady is a cow. He's wearing a cow mask,
Okay.
right? Like,
yeah.
and he's like petting a cow in a field.
Oh, okay. So you use little pieces from the original.
Yeah, if you
That's
look
dope.
also, if you look at our outfits, right? Our outfits, like what the guitar player is wearing, I'm wearing something that's very close to it. I even went and found a red hollow body style guitar that matched that guitar player's
awesome.
guitar.
Yeah.
You know, we really put a lot of thought into it. But to answer your question, I think we just get excited about what we're creating, and we just want to share it with people.
Yeah.
Whether we're doing it to industry standard or whether we're doing it that's going to get us the most likes. Or
God, who even knows what the standard is these days, man? You know, honestly, it's so different, man. Really, it's just it's a curiosity of mine because I think
that's a great question,
trickling it out. It you know, as obviously you're going to be excited to show it, and if you're going for a 10 or 11 track album, and you release 3, 4, 5 of them, half of it.
Yep.
That's pretty much an EP for most people, and that's where they'll go these days. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they want to get the quick punch and get out. You know, where if you think about it, to take 2 years on a full length really isn't that much.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
I think I honestly
appreciate it.
Here's the thing, though, man. You know, what is it to inhibit a creative process, though? You know what I mean? Because back in the day, you would want to try to stay on par with these bigger bands when you don't have the same luxury. Now we do.
I don't know.
You can have recording equipment in your place and have the pre-production done and have it step to step as you're going. But so many times, man, and you know this as well as I do, you could play a song out 4 or 5 times and still change it.
Oh yeah, totally.
You know, and then you get into the studio and you're like, wait a second.
Shit.
Does it feel mechanical with can we go back to the old way of just playing off a feel instead of adding everything's metronome, everything's click track. But so many times that you listen to old Sabbath, you listen to these old bands where it did shift, and there's no way you could put it out, but it doesn't feel like it breathes. You know what I'm saying? Like the groove breathes as it's going, and you go, that's off there, but it feels so good.
It feels great. Yeah. I think that's really just, once again, just what it's like to work inside this band and work with these musicians, these artists, my brothers, man, my friends.
Yeah. Big shout out to those cats, man.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm just grateful that where I'm at in my journey now, that I get to be in this journey I get to be in their journey as artists. And I'm glad that I get to share this piece of me with them.
Bro.
Yeah, gratitude, man. Gratitude, the attitude of gratitude, and just being thankful and grateful. I just, not everybody gets to experience this. And I just, there's a deep care in wanting to take care of it and treat it with love and respect and compassion and empathy. But I really do believe, as we start to release this new music and start to get it out, the trickling effect that we did leading up to here, I think now once the album's done, then we'll have like a more like a 6 week, but a bit more of a process behind it and structure to it. But I don't know.
So it wasn't planned to sporadically. I mean, you just wanted to get it out because you were enjoying it.
And we were just, I don't know, man. It was the act of creation and wanting to share.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, like you said, man, through this whole episode, you said it happened that way, and it was meant to be that way.
It was just, that's how it was.
Yeah.
And I think if you look at Element of One as a great example,
Yeah.
if you look at it, that song is 4 minutes and 44 seconds long.
Nice.
We received the track from Jesse.
Yeah.
Rounded out in April or during the month of April, which is 4.
Yeah.
And the time we received it was at 4:40. I mean, dude, there were so many synchronicities.
Wow.
Like,
That's
even
crazy.
if
I believe in that shit too, dude.
dude, the artwork.
There's no reason why that happens like
So
that, you know what I'm saying?
here's what will really further kind of like, I think,